A man cheats, breaks his vows, and still wants the inheritance. Xianyue steps and turns the tables and takes control of him. Dad, you're actually pretty good. Good thing you're not hard to please. Now the man's crying tears of regret, screaming he never should have let you be born. But his sons got him by the throat. Without me, you wouldn't even be in this family. Chang Sung was a university professor. Today he's driving to pick up his wife. Before leaving, he has his assistant clean up for him. On the road, he complains about his wife's every flaw. But the second he sees his wife, he puts on a different face. His wife isn't buying it though. Chang Sung's pretty annoyed. Just then, someone calls out dead. A long time no see. Chang Sung thinks it's bad luck. Mother and son look way too much alike. Rain's pouring down hard. His wife tells Chang Sung the divorce papers are ready. Chang Sung keeps playing dumb, laughs, and says why so sudden. His wife tells him to drop the act. You've been fooling around for years now. Chang Sung says she needs proof. His wife says his cute assistant's ambitious. Just promise him your position. After all, I bought you that professor job. Chang Sung glares into the rearview mirror. Suddenly a truck slams into them head. When Chang Sung wakes up, he's in a hospital. Ears tells him he's been in a coma for 8 months. We contacted your son. He'll be here soon. The door creaks open. Chang Sung's son calls out Dad. Chang Sung asks how his wife is. The doctor replies the Councilwoman Shilin is unconscious. She probably won't recover. Chang Sun's shocked at first. What? Then he says she's still alive. Chang Shun asks his son to take him to see her. Soon he's standing by his wife's hospital bed. Strangely, Chang Shun doesn't look happy. His son's watching his stepdad's expression closely. For some reason, he flashes a sinister smile. You're not thinking about unplugging mom's ventilator, are you? Of course, I'll respect dad's decision. Chang Sung realizes his wife would die, and he'd get 60% of the inheritance. But then his son mentions mom woke up briefly after surgery. Chang Sung realizes his wife had time to leave instructions. And this stepson keeps staring at me. Is she testing me? So Chang Sung chooses to continue his wife's treatment. Then he'll get close to his son and pry information out of him. Little does he know, his son's got plans for him. His stepdad cheated and didn't obey. His son's gonna punish him hard. Like I said, Chang Shun plans to manipulate his son Xinyu. They head to the parking garage to go home. Turns out Xianyu drove himself. Chang Shun envies his son's good luck. Wonders when he got his license. Xianyu says he sent him a message about him. Chang Shun awkwardly claims he forgot due to after effects. Xianyu doesn't bother calling him out. Let's just go home. Then he scoops Chang Sun up and puts him in the passenger seat. Before he can wonder where Xianyu got the strength, Xianyu suddenly leans in close. Chang Sun freezes. Once Xianyu buckles his seatbelt, he relaxes. He asks why Xianyu's driving himself. Xianyu explains he doesn't trust other drivers. Then he glances at Chang Sun. Tears start rolling down. I keep thinking about you, too unconscious. What would I do if you never woke up? I'm sorry, Dad. I don't want to cry, but I can't help it. Chang Sun figures his son's a good kid after all. He was overthinking things. Quickly comforts him, everything's fine now. Dad's awake, right? Xianyu softly agrees, sneaking another look at Chang Sun. Cut to their back home. Everything looks the same. Chang Sun's relieved, but then he notices the piano's gone. Chang Sun asks Xianyu where the piano went. Xianyu thinks he wants to shower. Quickly changes the subject if you need help. Tells Chang Sun it broke, so he threw it out. Chang Sun shivers. Did that woman do this before the accident? Xianyu sees Chang Sun looks pale. Immediately asks, should I carry you to bed? Chang Sun quickly backs away, I can walk by myself. Don't make such a fuss. Chang Sun walks, thinking about the piano. If there'd been no accident, he might have ended up like the piano. But thinking his wife's basically a corpse now, Chang Sun actually laughs out loud. Never thought I'd see this day. Now it's all mine. Chang Sun falls asleep dreaming of a bright future. But then Xianyu comes over to him. Thoughtfully starts unbuttoning his jacket. Dad can't sleep in his clothes. That would be so uncomfortable. The boy doesn't want his beloved stepdad to cheat, so he pulls out evidence of attempted murder to threaten him. Like I said, Xianyu thoughtfully undresses his father. But he hears him muttering I was wrong, hoping his wife will forgive him. Turns out his father's having a nightmare. In the dream, his wife's punishing him. Look at yourself. You think you'd beat me? Tony, your dreams are so cute. Chang Shun can't believe his wife woke up, but facing the fly swatter's beating, Chang Shun can only beg for forgiveness, begging his wife to forgive him. But his wife says disobedient dogs need to be punished. Honey's like a dirty rag. How many times have you betrayed me? When I wake up, you're the one who's screwed. Chang Sun screams no and jolts awake. He's terrified. Suddenly, Chang Shun senses something's off, nervously lifts the covers. His face immediately darkens. No surprise, he heads to the shower. This is embarrassing. At this age, having teenage dreams. Now I'm all swollen. It's all that woman's fault. Little does he know, he's blaming the wrong person. After showering, Chang Sun's about to leave. Xianyu asks if Chang Shun slept well. Dad looks really tired. Chang Sun just stares at his son's slender hands. His mind starts wandering. Looks like he needs to contact his assistant right away. Xianyu stops Chang Sun. Dad, I need to talk to you. But Chang Shun says he needs to go to the office. He's got to get a new SIM card and contact his assistant. Xianyu mutters he's contacting him first. Dad better hear him out first. Chang Sun's about to lose it. But then Xianyu mentions something mom left behind. Chang Sun thinks it's his wife's last words or something. Immediately changes his tune. Tell me what mom left. Xianyu first asks if dad has amnesia. Chang Shun thinks Xianyu is going to mention the divorce. Immediately explains his mom paid people to smear him. Just as Chang Sun's about to play victim, Xianyu suddenly smiles, tells him to listen before looking in the box. Xianyu pulls out a phone, then plays a recording of the argument from the day of the crash. listening to his wife's constant insults. Chang Sheng gets angrier and angrier. When his wife tells him to accept being a doormat, Chang Sheng completely loses it, screams he'll make her die at the doormat's hand, then deliberately crashes into the truck. That's what caused the accident. Xian Yu's glad he wore his seatbelt, and explains the law to Chang Sheng. What he did will get him stripped of inheritance rights. If I give this evidence to the cops, wonder what'll happen to Dad. But Chang Sheng stays pretty calm. Since nothing's happened yet, means you haven't done anything, son. I must have something you want. A man runs away from his abusive son. But why isn't his son worried at all? Like I said, Xian Yu wants Chang Sheng to calm down. Chang Sheng's too scared to speak. Looking at his cute dad, Xian Yu understands what mom did, but then Chang Sheng starts struggling again. Xian Yu gives him another round of smacks. Chang Sheng finally behaves, but after hitting him, he feels guilty. Is this being disrespectful? Even though I'm not his real son, Dad did something wrong and deserves punishment. If I don't make you remember, you'll just do it again. So Xian Yu disciplines Chang Sheng all night. Next morning, he wakes up looking dead inside. Xian Yu asks Chang Sheng how last night. A slap gives him the answer. Xian Yu says Chang Sheng's too much. Who hits their kid these days? Don't you get your situation? Guess I'll have to educate you some more. How else will Dad understand my devotion? We've got plenty of time ahead. Better stay home and wait for me. Xian Yu leaves after giving instructions. Chang Sheng's seething. He's not staying home after being abused. Besides, he's saved up enough money. Otherwise, he wouldn't have dared do what he did. Sure, it's nothing compared to his wife's fortune. But it doesn't matter that Xian Yu has evidence on him. He's got enough to live abroad. Still, Chang Sheng's bitter about it. Little does he know, Xian Yu's watching his every move. His guy reports that his dad's about to run. But Xian Yu's not worried at all. Just follow him. Chang Sheng's already bought a new phone. Can't wait to check his contacts. Plans to have his assistant process his leave. But when Chang Sheng calls, no one answers. Chang Sheng doesn't know what's going on. Calls the admin office asking about his assistant. Turns out he resigned last year. And the assistant quit at the same time as him. While Chang Sheng's lost and confused, Xian Yu's at home, sleeping peacefully. Murmuring, come back home, Dad. Come find Xian Yu. Why is the old man begging for food? His son won't give him money. Like I said, Xian Yu's waiting for Dad to come home. But Dad's trying to withdraw money and leave him. But his bank card won't work. Chang Sheng doesn't know what's happening. Has to go to the bank for help. Turns out it's because he doesn't have a guardian. Chang Sheng's furious. It's my money. Why do I need a guardian? But the bank sticks to policy. Chang Sheng has no idea who his guardian is. The bank tells him it's your son, Mo Shan. And a few days ago, he withdrew all the savings. Chang Sheng knows he's screwed. All his savings are gone. What's left in his wallet won't even cover a hotel, let alone 3 meals a day. And yesterday, he didn't even eat properly. Chang Sheng looks at the convenience store right there. Reluctantly calls Xin Yu. Chang Sheng pulls out his phone. What does Dad want? Chang Sheng's roaring on the line. Unlock my bank card right now. I know this was you. Xian Yu calmly admits it. That's because you were both in a coma. But why'd you run away? Afraid I won't take care of you. This makes Chang Sheng even angrier. I can't help calling Xian Yu a bastard. Losing my professor job was you too. But Xian Yu mentions Mom left some interesting photos. You and your assistant study materials that corrupt innocent students. So I'm doing society a favor. But Chang Sheng refuses to listen. Fix everything right now. Xian Yu's not having it. It's almost 9. Not sure if you found a place to sleep. You should just come home. Xian Yu expected Chang Sheng to refuse. He agrees immediately. But Xian Yu won't let him crash for free. Demands Chang Sheng pay up. Chang Sheng asks Xian Yu what he wants. Xian Yu says just finish what we started this morning. After negotiating terms, Chang Sheng goes back home. Xian Yu pretends to ask if his walk was nice. Obviously, Chang Sheng doesn't want to answer. Just turns to go sleep. But Xian Yu tells him to pay up first. Right now. Chang Sheng yells, I'm your dad. You've lost your mind. But Xian Yu says he learned it from Chang Sheng. After all, parents are a child's best teachers. Makes sense, right? Chang Sheng can't argue. Has to obediently kneel before Xian Yu. Xian Yu was adorable as a kid. But Chang Sheng, who took care of him, is depressed now. Like I said, Chang Sheng begs Xian Yu for a meal. Xian Yu grants Dad's request. After eating, Chang Sheng quickly pushes away. Xian Yu praises Dad for doing great. But Chang Sheng regrets marrying his mom. Turns out Chang Sheng used to be a pianist. Xian Yu's mom loved hearing him play. After finishing, they'd eat together as usual. But Chang Sheng notices Shilian suddenly stopped eating. She pulls out an ultrasound. And she pulled out an ultrasound saying she was pregnant. Chang Sheng was shocked. Shilian asked him what he thought. But Chang Sheng started shaking. You know my situation, right? How could someone like me be a dad? But Shilian just smiled dangerously. She pulled out a huge Sanyo carat diamond ring and showed it to him. Chang Sheng instantly perked up. So that's your answer. On the way back, Chang Sheng sang the whole way. When he got home, he couldn't help laughing his head off. This was just too good. The good times were ahead. She's such a fool. Just because she's having a kid, she wants to marry a beggar like me. I thought she'd get tired of me and dump me. Did that woman actually fall in love with me? Little did he know the happier he was now, the more miserable he'd be later. Soon it was time for Shilian to give birth. Secretary Zhang called him while he was playing golf and told him to get back quick. He figured since that woman loved him, it didn't matter anyway. But when he got home, Shilian beat him, and she used a golf club to do it. Mo Chang Sheng, do you know why you're getting beaten? Chang Sheng made excuses. Sure, I was late, but I got there before it was over. And it was Secretary Zhang who wouldn't let me in. But Shilian said she was the one who told Secretary Zhang to do that. I was in labor for 8 hours. You only showed up for the last hour. Changsun tried to keep making excuses that he'd done his best, but Shilian whacked him with the club. I looked into everything. From now on, you're gonna learn how to raise a kid. Secretary Zhang can handle the work stuff. You just need to be a full-time dad. Right then, Changsun still thought he had a chance. He figured Shilian was just mad at him. After all, she'd only hit his body. She didn't hit his face or hands. If I just play piano for her, she'll forgive me. Little did he know he really did become a stay. Watching cute little Hyanwu running toward him. But Changsun looked dead inside. Hyanwu always loved his dad so much, but dad never loved him back. Changsun had to admit his wife was impressive. She rented out an entire amusement park for their son's birthday, but when he spent even eating bucks, he'd get a notification. Changsun couldn't help complaining to Hyanwu. You've got your mom, that's all you need. But Hyanwu insisted otherwise. Hyanwu was only happy when he has dad. But Changsun said he was miserable. Because of Hyanwu, he didn't even have a job. Hyanwu asked what dad did for work. Changsun replied that he used to be a pianist, but now nobody was calling him for gigs. Hyanwu said he wanted to watch dad play, but Changsun told him to mind his own business. You sound just like your mom. Hyanwu wondered what mom had said. That made Changsun remember all of Shilian's orders. He could only hope Hyanwu would be good to him later. Hyanwu said right away that he definitely would. Hyanwu obediently ate his onions and brushed his teeth all by himself. But Changsun said none of that counted. Hyanwu pouted. He was obviously upset. Hyanwu loves dad so much. Dad shouldn't talk about Hyanwu.
Changsun asked how much he loved him.
Hyanwu spread his little arms as wide as he could. This much, super much. And Hyanwu's love wasn't just talk. At dinner, he told mom that dad couldn't work because he had to take care of him. So he hoped mom would let dad go back to work. Shilian asked Hyanwu, your dad said that. Hyanwu added that dad also said nobody was calling him anymore and cursed about it. When Shilian heard the key word about cursing, Changsun immediately explained he didn't say it to Hyanwu. He was just talking to himself. He thought the kid couldn't hear. And anyway, he definitely couldn't go back to work now. But Shilian asked him how about a job as a music professor. Hyanwu perked right up. Turns out Shilian thought Changsun had been doing well lately. This was his reward. Right then, Changsun smiled like a little kid. At that moment, he had to play piano. Shilian listened, feeling content. The family of three was happy together. Back then, Hyanwu was so happy. But now, everything had changed. That piano was long gone. Changsun seemed to have left again. The son forced his dad to sober up, because dad was drowning in alcohol. Last time we talked about how Hyanwu couldn't find his dad, and there was no record of him going out. Just when Hyanwu was stumped about where he was, he suddenly remembered the house had security cameras. Hyanwu did a quick search, and found the room full of snoring. Looking at the empty bottles on the table, dad sprawled out on the floor. Hyanwu rushed to wake him up. Really worried about his health. Don't drink this early in the morning. But Changsun wasn't grateful at all. He yelled at Hyanwu to stop playing the caring song. Hyanwu was totally fed up. He didn't care that dad was complaining. He just slapped him twice to sober him up. Who's playing your song? I just don't want to see you looking pathetic. But even after all that, Changsun still asked what was in it for him. At least when I suck up to your mom, I get something out of it. What can you as a son do for your dad? But Hyanwu angrily told him to shut up. Seeing that, Changsun immediately groveled. Dear son, please forgive me. Thank you for letting me eat, sleep, and do nothing. He's definitely that woman's kid. So good at making people miserable. But Hyanwu said Changsun had no right to complain. Look at what you've done. Changsun got even more worked up. She's been exploiting me my whole life. How am I the bad guy now? Hyanwu shot back with a dark. Then why don't you talk about all the perks you got? Changsun couldn't argue with that. He angrily punched the wall. You saw what happened in the locker room. Don't you feel even a little bad for your dad? Hyanwu didn't feel bad for dad. That was all your fault for cheating. But then Changsun suddenly started crying. So that woman ignoring me wasn't wrong. I could have just stayed in the basement playing piano, but she kept dragging me out to mess with me, rewarding me with a music professor position, when really I was just her appetizer. That crazy woman never loved me. I wanted to turn the steering wheel and kill her. Hyanwu looked at his pathetic dad, not sure what he was thinking about him. The son decided to give dad a present to cheer. He'd give him something special. Last time we talked about how Hyanwu saw his dad looking pathetic. He kept thinking about the harsh things he'd said, just because mom didn't love him. Dad wanted to kill her. Today Hyanwu met up with Secretary Zhang. The two greeted each other. Then Secretary Zhang pulled out the inheritance report. Hyanwu sighed. More homework. He asked what the lawyer said. Secretary Zhang replied that since your dad sobered up, they needed to end the adult guardianship. Hyanwu immediately glared. I told you we have to wait. But then Hyanwu immediately apologized. He'd been fighting with dad lately, so he was a bit on edge.
Secretary Zhang reminded this couldn't go on.
Hyanwu said only he could issue the death notice, but only when he was ready. Secretary Zhang didn't push. She asked Hyanwu why he and dad were fighting. Your dad's so pitiful, and not quite right in the head. But Hyanwu didn't answer. Instead, he asked how to control dad. Secretary Zhang told Hyanwu that the chairwoman used to give him expensive gifts. Hyanwu smiled. To dad, that's nothing. I'll give him his favorite thing, a piano. That evening, Hyanwu came home. He was instantly annoyed. More empty bottles on the table, and his father passed out drunk. He was sleeping peacefully, snoring loudly. Dad, you should sleep in your room. The floor is too cold. But this time Changsun didn't respond. Hyanwu's mind drifted back to dad saying he wanted to hurt mom, but Hyanwu didn't hate him for it. Instead, he envied his own mom. It'd be nice if he hated me that much too. Hyanwu saw dad wasn't waking up. He had no choice but to carry him to his room. Little did he know Changsun was faking it the whole time. So, you want me to be like this? Dad invited his son to play piano together. One song breaks the heart. After the song, all flowers with. Last time we talked about Changsun faking being drunk and hearing Hyanwu's secret. This episode starts with Hyanwu as a kid. I'm home, dad. But the room stayed quiet. The empty room. Hyanwu was a little scared. First he played piano to calm himself down. Then he called dad. He wanted to ask where dad was. Dad sounded really annoyed. I already ordered you delivery. Hyanwu flopped down upset. He was obviously unhappy. He played piano all alone. Later, Hyanwu got rid of the piano. But now, to make dad happy, Haiyan Wu bought a new one for the house. Suddenly Chang Sin appeared behind him, asking what song that was. But Haiyan Wu pretended he didn't know. But Chang Sin told him, "It's your mom's favorite. Do you know what the song means?" Haiyan Wu shot back, "So what if I do? What are you scheming? Why the sudden change?" Chang Sin denied it. "I remember last night you said you loved Dad, and something about hating me too." But Haiyan Wu said Chang Sin's hearing was off. "Too much drinking. You're dreaming." But Chang Sin didn't buy it. "So what does my son want to do with that? Get a revengeful mom? Or satisfy some twisted need? Like a kid who picks on the person they like?" Haiyan Wu freaked out. He goes to Chang Sin asking what he was trying to do. But Chang Sin didn't answer. Instead, he brought up what the song meant. It represents passion, love affairs, infidelity, all kinds of interesting things. Want to have a passionate duet with Dad? One song breaks your heart. 2 songs destroy everything. Haiyan Wu panicked. Dad's lost it. But Chang Sin said he was totally clear-headed. Actually, Dad really likes karaoke too. Right then, Haiyan Wu's heart completely shattered. They started playing like crazy. Their bodies became one with the keys. Every note was incredible.